Welcome to this week's edition of Now You Know Sports. I'm Brian Page alongside Eric Kreitzer, the new rookie here tonight. We're going to talk about a little baseball right now, a little NFL, a little college football. So let's get right into it. Eric, the National League Cy Young, if you will.
I'm going to have to choose Tim Lincecum of the Giants for this one. He's 18-5 with a 2.63 ERA. He also leads the majors with 263 strikeouts. What about you, Brian?
I'm going to go with CC Sabathia. I know he's not the pick that everyone's going for, but I think without him, the Brewers really wouldn't have made it to the playoffs. And you look at the 10-plus wins he had in half of a season. I mean, that's pretty spectacular.
That's
Plus,
true.
The sub-2 ERA as well as pitching 3 of the last 8 games for the Brewers. I thought that was pretty remarkable. Moving on, how about the AL Cy Young?
AL Cy Young, I think I have to go with Cliff Lee. I mean, 22-3 with a 2.54 ERA, 170 strikeouts. You can't really go wrong with that.
I agree with you 100% on that, Eric. I say Cliff Lee as well. And, 22-3, even though he played for a losing team.
That's right.
Which, that's pretty unfortunate for him. But he still managed to only lose 3 games and win 22 of them. So I think he is the unanimous pick.
Exactly.
We're going to go with the
AL
MVP.
I'm going to have to go Dustin Pedroia for the Red Sox. 326 average, 17 home runs, and 83 RBIs, and he was also the MLB hits leader.
Exactly. I, again, agreed. I think once the Red Sox traded Manny, somebody needed to step up and fill that void. I know Jason Bay has been pretty good for them, but they needed a little extra kick. Obviously, Manny's one of the best right-handed hitters of all time, and Dustin Pedroia really gave them that. He had a 2020 season almost. Hitting the cleanup spot, actually, and this guy's only 5'8", which is pretty...
He's a small person.
Pretty spectacular. Very small person, but played a very big role for the Red Sox down the stretch.
Small person, big role. You gotta love it.
Gotta love it. Yeah. And finally, we're going to go with the NL MVP.
NL MVP, I'll have to go with Albert Pujols. I mean, I know he was on a team that didn't make the playoffs this year, but he had a 357 average, which is insane. 37 home runs, 116 RBIs. What about you? I think I have an inclination.
I'm going to go with this guy who got traded by the Boston Red Sox midway through the season that goes by the name of Manny Ramirez. Now, I know Manny is also, like CC Sabathia, not the hot pick, but he got traded, hit almost 400, hit 17 home runs, and basically carried the Dodgers into the playoffs. I don't know many guys who can do that, and I know Manny's probably not going to get it because he's only been playing there for half a season, but I always think the MVP should go to the guy who contributes most to help the team get to the playoffs, and that's exactly what he did.
He's doing his job. He loves the Hollywood lights.
He's doing his thing with the hair. All right, so we're going to move along to college football, and it's about midseason now, so we're going to go to the little midseason report card analysis. So, Eric, we're going to talk about biggest disappointments, I'm getting some hair on my stuff here.
Yeah, you get that.
No,
I got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Biggest disappointments and biggest surprises so far, Eric. What do you like for biggest surprises?
Biggest surprise. I mean, it's hard to disagree with Alabama, number 2 in the nation right now. I mean, they were not in the talks for a national championship coming into the season. So, I mean, they've got to be my biggest surprise.
And I'm going to agree with you on that. I think Alabama, they were unranked going to the start of the season. They played Clemson first game. Yep. Clemson was ranked number 9, which actually goes right into my biggest disappointment, actually. Clemson. Personally, I'm going to say Clemson. They were number 9, actually a big rival to BC. They're 3-3 right now, and they just fired their head coach.
See you later.
God, that's depressing. So what about you? What do you think is your big disappointment?
Of course, I think Clemson. I also want to think Ohio State. I mean, they were coming in the season hoping or thinking that BCS championship or nothing. Win or lose. And right now, I mean, everyone saw what happened against USC on national television. It was a debacle.
It was a destruction, if you will.
Disgusting.
Gross. Exactly. Absolutely disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, let's talk about the NFL and the recent news development of Pac-Man Jones being suspended indefinitely from the NFL. Now, I know this guy had a lot of trouble earlier. I know you know a lot about this, so why don't you give the lowdown on this?
I think a lot of people have heard, but he got in a fight actually with his bodyguard, which was provided by the Cowboys. The Cowboys gave him a set of bodyguards to keep him out of trouble, and he got in a fight with them in a hotel bathroom. And it is a lesser incident compared to his other ones, but the police were called, and for Roger Goodell not to suspend him would just be, he'd lose a lot of credit, Roger Goodell would, and that's why today he was indefinitely suspended by the NFL. So I guess I'll see you later, Pac-Man Jones.
Now I'm going to be honest. I don't know too much about the NFL, even though I'm a sports analyst. But I'm going to say this: Pac-Man was suspended for a year by the NFL, and if you've been suspended for a year and you get reinstated, I would live at home. Basically, if I'm not playing football, I would chain myself to my house and I would live at home. Now, I know this was kind of a controversial incident for him to get suspended indefinitely because it was just an argument with the bodyguard.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at recent developments with Matt Jones, who was chopping up illegal substances on the side of the road, got caught. I just think these NFL players have no idea. Like, I don't care what you do, but you just got to be smarter about this.
Exactly. And Chris Henry actually has been on the fortunate end of everything. The Bengals picked him back up, even though he's been in trouble with the law just because they're so miserable.
Are the Bengals like the all-arrested team? Like, they pretty much have like the most arrests.
The Jaguars, I think.
They're pretty much just picking up everybody who's got some credentials in that area.
And maybe Matt Jones will, if he gets convicted, will be doing the whole professional wrestling thing that Pac-Man Jones did.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah. Well, anything else you'd like to add on that, or
that's basically it.
We're pretty much done venting
Talked about those three superstars.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this week's edition of Now You Know Sports, and we'll send it back to the desk.